How's it going, guys? Jake here. Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. Today we are going to be doing an oil change on my F-250 pickup truck. As you can see, here it is, 2008 6.4 liter Powerstroke. It's an F-250. You guys have seen this thing a lot on the channel. It is due for an oil change and a fuel filter change. Both the fuel filters, the one down on the rail and up in the engine compartment. I do the fuel filters every 14,000 miles and the oil changes every 7,000 miles. So over here on the bench, ignore the compressor here. I'm in the process of putting in a new pressure sensor valve to kick it on and off. But I got just about everything that I'm gonna need here. Fuel filters, oil filters, and the good stuff. This stuff right now is just about as expensive as gold, if you can find it. The Rotella 1540. So let's get this thing underway. So first things first, we're gonna start this puppy up. Let that oil get nice and warm. There we go. While that's warming up, see, I got my bucket out here, and we're gonna pull out all the necessities we're gonna need. All right, now that that's ran a while, we can go ahead and shut her off. Whoa. The oil should be nice and warmed up, and we can start draining. Now I got one of these fancy drain plugs with the cap, as you saw me just remove right there, and the hose. So it's actually really nice. You know, the oil doesn't come pouring out. You don't get oil all over yourself. It goes right in the bucket. So I'm gonna tighten this up, and then we should start to see the oil flow down. Yeah, there she goes. So we'll let that drain. In the meantime, do the oil filter.
So I just checked on the oil while we're still up here, and while it's still draining, we're gonna go ahead and do this fuel filter. It's up here in the engine compartment. This one is for the engine compartment. This one that doesn't have the ribs visible on the outside, you can see the difference just in size, goes down on the frame rail. Take out the old gasket or O-ring. Pop that on like so. Take the new fuel filter, pop that in, and we're good to go. Okay guys, so I don't know if you can see here, but this is what we got going on. Normally I start out with an empty 5-gallon bucket. Truck takes 16 quarts or 4 gallons of 1540. But since I started out with some stuff in there, I think it's kind of equalized out a little bit, and it's really slowing down the flow. So this bucket should be pretty much almost full to the top. I mean, it is slowly going up the level here, but it's drastically slowed down. So nice thing about having these one-way valves on the oil pan is that I can just unscrew it and pull this 5-gallon bucket out, go get my regular oil pan that I use for all my smaller equipment, and sink that underneath, and we can drain out the rest of the oil here, because this is taking too long. It was like 56 degrees today, so I thought it would be warm enough just letting the truck run up, or start and run for like 10 minutes at idle, but I guess it wasn't. Didn't really translate all the way down into the oil. This is the oil pan I normally use for my smaller stuff. I have used it for the truck before, but it holds like exactly 16 quarts, which is exactly what this truck holds. So sometimes it's a little sketchy trying to get it all to fit in. Sometimes I have to like block it up so that it can expand to the full way. But yeah, I'm glad I did this, because as you can see, there's more oil flowing out of there. Not a lot, but you know, it's still coming out. So we'll continue to let that drain. One of the benefits of having a big truck, 5-gallon bucket fits underneath the running boards. All right, now we'll go ahead while we're waiting for the rest of that oil to drip out and do the other fuel filter down on the frame rail. This one can be a little tricky, but what I've found to work best is to get a long, almost like, I think this is like a 20-inch extension total. I got 2 put together, and I use this big 36mm socket that I used up here for this fuel filter and the oil filter. You kind of go down, you gotta weasel it around a cross member and get it out, so I'll show you guys. So hopefully you guys can see, but up here, probably gonna block it, is where that fuel filter sits down on the frame rail. It's on the driver's side. You can see this little yellow knob right there is my fuel water or water fuel separator. So if you ever get the code here, the little light up on the dashboard that says water in fuel, you go down there and just pop this little yellow knob that's up there and it would drip out of this little hole. So you can see it's kind of tight, and we got this cross member right here. But if you kind of, like I said, the long extension go up, you can span the cross member and get it from way back. So we're gonna loosen that up. Some fuel's gonna drip out, but we got the drip pan right here filled with God knows what, and we'll get this changed. The inside can sometimes be a little bit dirty, so I'll wipe that out. Paper towel too. You don't have to go crazy, just the big stuff. This one, Ford could have done a little bit better, I think. But such is life. We're gonna go ahead and put it back in. I find it's easier to get the filter in first. Make sure you hear that like little click almost, and then you can finagle the cap on there. And there we go, it's threaded on. So now I kind of fish the socket all the way back through, like this. Now we can tighten her down all the way. Hey. You shooting video? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go get the steak. Okay. Guys, Sarah's going to pick up steak. Say hi, Sarah. Hello. Alright guys, I just came in, put on some fresh gloves. I'm gonna wipe you guys off. That was by far the dirtiest point in this whole process here.
I don't know what diesel fuel does to 4K HD cameras, but I'd rather not find out. So, now that we're cleaned up, old fuel rail fuel filter is off. Here's what the extension looks like. I totally forgot I actually needed one more. So it's like a total of, I don't know, 20 inches probably of extension. I really should just get one solid 20-inch extension, but I don't know. This has worked. Got the old O-ring off. Doused the new one in diesel fuel, so that's good. Let's check up on the oil dripping out. Yep, it has come to a stop. So we are drained. I'm gonna pull that out. All right, so like I said, we are down to a slow drip. Oh yeah, there's a decent amount in here, so I'm glad we did that. I'm gonna call that good enough. Gonna unscrew the straw here. Let that continue to drain. It's like a little brass cap. There's actually a magnet in it too. So I'm gonna take some paper towel here, wipe that out, wipe this off. Whoever invented this is a genius. That's it. Just has to be like hand tight. So let's get out from under here. So now the fun part. 4 gallons. Got my straw here. I like to take a paper towel, roll it up, and just shove it up in there. That way it doesn't leak when it's not in use, and nothing really can get up in there when it's also not in use. So, got all my tools back in my silicone tool tray. I love these things. I use them all the time for all sorts of stuff. Just helps keep everything all in one place. So now that everything's done, there is one more extremely crucial step when you're doing your oil change with the fuel filters. Think about it. You just drained your whole fuel system, essentially. Not the entire fuel system, but a lot of fuel. So the air has been introduced into the system. It is very important to purge the air of the system. The system on these trucks is self-purging as long as you actually go through and run the pump. By doing that, you put the key in the ignition, turn it to the on position. You wait 30 seconds. If you're quiet, you can actually go down and hear the pump pumping, and you wait, and then you're gonna shut the key off. You're gonna do it again. Oh, watch out. You're going to do that 6 times for the full 30 seconds. So it's like a total of, what, 3 minutes, I guess, on and off. I mean, you can wait longer than 30 seconds. It's been longer, so we're going to now shut it off and do it again. By doing this, it self-purges the system, gets all the air out of the system, and you're going to be able to start up your truck right away. If you just go ahead and start up the truck immediately, it's going to start up for a second, run really funny, and then basically die, and then you're going to have to go through all these extra steps to purge it. Don't ask me how I know that. So just do it this way every time, and it'll be fine. Again, I change my oil every 7,000 miles, and I do the fuel filters every other oil change, or 14,000 miles. It's probably on the conservative side, but I'd rather be conservative with it than not. So this is the 3rd time. Hey Lou,
What you doing, buddy? You watching Daddy purge the fuel system in the truck? Oh yeah? Are you king of the castle? This is 5. I like to do it 1/7 time just to be sure. And now we'll go ahead and start her up. So as you can tell, it's getting dark, but the truck is running nice and smooth. We'll let it run for a second and then check our final oil level on the dipstick. Now call me crazy, but I always like to come back under right after I first start it and just check this fuel filter down here to make sure it's not leaking any fuel. It's not. It looks pretty dry. I mean, it's shiny because obviously diesel just dumped all over everything, but it's dry. We're looking good. Okay, just let this thing run for a little bit. Let's check our oil level. I don't know if you can see that. We are right there at the top of the max line. Check it once more for good measure. Again, right where we need to be. So guys, when you have a lot of different equipment and stuff that all takes different maintenance, I make a note for each different piece of equipment. So this is my note in my phone for my truck. You can see I have my fuel filter numbers there, oil filter numbers there, the date I did the change, the mileage I did the change, and the next change, which is, I think I said 7,000, every 7,000 miles. It's every 7,500. But as you can see, here's today's oil change. I denote that I did fuel filters, which, as you can see, I skipped one there, did one there. It was due for a change, if you look in this column, at 138,328. And I actually got around to doing it today, and I'm at 138,527. So 7,500 miles from that is 146,027, and that's when we'll be having to do just an oil change next. So this just helps keep everything straight. I do it for tire rotation, oil changes, fuel filters, everything for all my different equipment. I don't know if any of you guys noticed before, but I do have a bunch of oil here, filters and everything. So the tractor, I think, is around 360 something hours. So I got its 400 hour big maintenance coming up. I'm probably gonna get that done before 400 hours just because I work the thing quite a bit. So it deserves it. But I got oil filters, air filters, fuel filters, hydraulic oil filters, more hydraulic fluid, and some 10W30 Rotella. Only the best. So guys, that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is a little bit different than what I normally make content of, but if I'm doing it in the afternoon and I think some people might find it interesting and or useful, I'm going to film it. Might as well. I do this. I've done all the oil changes and most of the maintenance, routine maintenance on my truck ever since I bought it. So it's running real strong. I know some people don't necessarily like the 6.4 motor, but it's treated me really well ever since I got rid of some of the emissions stuff on it and chipped it. It's a really reliable motor.
at least for me. And, you know, it's towed an awful lot of weight, as you can see in all the videos. So that's going to wrap it up. Sarah just came home with a flank steak. I got to fire up the big green egg, get that cooking. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, help us get to 4,000 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button down below. Any questions, comments, or feedback, throw it in the comments section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.